Welcome to day 5 of our Formulating with Herbs and Oils for Safety and Impact. Today, we're just going to talk a little bit about the differences in oil and herb and the same plant, but obviously a different composition, chemically speaking, and different uses as well as different contraindications. So we're going to have a look at peppermint. So we have peppermint leaf, which is the herb, and peppermint herb leaf it contains 1.2% essential oil in the herb itself, and other ingredients within it are tannins characteristic of the Lamiaceae family. So the herb itself is used for spastic complaints, GI issues, gallbladder issues, bile duct issues. And there's no side effects currently known using peppermint herb. So the dosage for use is 3 to 6 grams of the leaf daily is considered safe, or 5 to 15 grams of tincture, and equivalent preparations, of course. So you can use it in many different ways. You can use it in a tea, you can use it in a capsule, you can macerate it and actually use it in an herbal oil to extract some of those constituents. And you can use it in topical preparations as well to help with a lot of different common issues. Peppermint is often used herbally for headaches as well. Provides that nice, menthol tingle. So now we're just going to look at peppermint essential oil because it's kind of interesting that various forms of the same plant can carry such different indications and contraindications and usages. So peppermint oil itself consists of the essential oil menthopreparates. We know that it's obtained by steam distillation, and it's the flowering sprigs that are used for harvesting it. So it contains a minimum of 4.5% and a maximum of 10% esters, and they're calculated as methyl acetate, and at least 44% free alcohols, calculated as menthol, and a minimum of 15% and maximum of 32% of ketones, calculated as menthone. So again, it is used often for spastic discomfort and issues with the GI and the bile ducts and IBS and colon issues. And additionally, it is used frequently for respiratory tract inflammation and oral mucosa. Now, externally, the recommendation for peppermint essential oil is for myalgia and neuralgia, so nerve pain and associated problems. However, regardless that it comes from the same plant, the preparation makes all the difference because with the essential oil, there are clear contraindications. And so I find it interesting that there's no contraindications with the herb itself, but indeed there are with the essential oils. So some of the contraindications are obstruction of bile ducts, gallbladder inflammation, severe liver damage, and that's due, of course, the pharmacokinetics if you're using it internally. And in case of gallstones, it is to be used only after consultation, obviously, with a physician, because gallstones can be dangerous if not handled and treated correctly. And a lot of times folks will think that they can handle things all on their own, only to find out later that was a bad idea. So there's currently no known side effects aside from the noted contraindications, and no interactions with other drugs. So internally, peppermint oil is rated as taking an average daily dose of 6 to 12 drops. So again, that's the peppermint oil, and the peppermint essential oil is slightly different than that. For inhalation, we're supposed to be using 3 to 4 drops in hot water. For irritable colon, an average single dose is 0.2 mils, and an average daily dose is 0.6 mils in enterically coated form. So that is in the caplet form, the capsules. That it's a slow digestion, so it's time released, so it's better processed by our body through the pharmacokinetics. So that's what the enteric coating is all about. So some drops rubbed into the affected area of the skin, neat, is also noted as okay. These monographs that I'm looking at are directly off the American Botanical Council, if you guys want to jump on there and have a look, because they do have a lot of the herbal monographs and comparative essential oil and oil monographs, which I find very handy for this purpose. So in semi-solid and oily preparations, you can use it at 5 to 20%. In aqueous ethanol preparations, you can use it at 5 to 10%. And in nasal ointments, you can use it at 1 to 5% of the essential oil. So the essential oil and the galeonalic preparations can be used internally and externally according to what is known to be safe usage, according to the American Botanical Council, who uses the Culpeper monographs, and so it's historically been known to be safe to use in these ways. Now, that's not me saying it's safe, it's me saying that the American Botanical Council says it's safe. I'm not a big proponent of internal use of essential oils. I've done enough pharmacodynamics and pharmacokinetics to understand the liver processing, and that it's not always to our benefit unless we really, really, really know what we're doing to make those preparations. So the actions of the essential oil: it is antispasmodic, it is carminative, it is a cholagogue, antibacterial, secretolytic, and cooling. So there's a lot of different ways that we can use the essential oil, and there's a lot of different ways that we can use the herb, and there are lots of ways that we can use the two of them combined. So I'm going to give you just one example, keeping it a short video today, heading into the long weekend. I have a lot of prep work to do for a big Thanksgiving dinner here, so my day's kind of a runaway already. But one of the ways that we can use it is in a decongestant rub. So if you make a salve that is a decongestant rub, we can use the essential oil in it. We can use the peppermint leaf macerated in an oil to create an herbal oil, an herbal maceration. And then on top of that, we can use the menthol crystals themselves, and that provides that deeply decongestant, cooling sensation, very similar to Vicks, but completely all natural. Now, using them together in that way, we do need to ensure that we're keeping each component to a fairly low dosage. So I would recommend no higher than, say, 1% of the essential oil, and I would go 0.5% or less of the menthol crystals. If you've never worked with the menthol crystals, they come in a package and it looks like big chunk salt. And what you do is you crush it, and then you grind it up into a very fine powder, and you incorporate it into your salve. I use it in a lot of preparations where there's a decongestant need. A lot of times for migraine headaches, we'll use it. For some menopause preparations, we'll use it to provide that cooling for hot flashes. And again, this is all directly tied to the peppermint plant as a whole. So you'll see right there in one formulation of making this decongestant salve, we can actually use 3 different forms safely, so long as we are aware that they come from the same plant, aware that they have the same or similar actions, and obviously cognizant of the contraindications listed. But it is critical to the formulation to go online and to get the monographs for the various forms of whatever plant matter you're going to be using, and compare them side by side. And I'm not sure if any of you have ever done a cross-reference chart, but doing a cross-reference chart is very helpful when it comes to determining, what is similar and alike and what is different. and it really gives you a visual of what the best methodology is for using multiple components of the same plant material to make a very impactful, medicinally strong end formulation for your client. So that is all for today, and I'm going to focus on a couple other herbs. I'm going to try and do one plant, I guess, per week is kind of my goal, to kind of go into and do a review of the herb and the oil and any other associated components that we use in formulating natural health products. So this week's was peppermint, and next week we will have a look at a couple other different ones. So I wish you guys all a really great, fantastic Thanksgiving weekend. I hope that you will all stay safe. I know we've had some um, new things put in place again here in Alberta as far as the COVID virus goes. So it's going to be a little bit challenging to get together with the larger, greater whole of the family. But I hope wherever you are and whatever you're doing this Thanksgiving long weekend, you stay safe and have a wonderful Thanksgiving weekend with those you love. Take care for now, and we'll talk next week. Bye for now.